Good morning, good morning. There's Miss Vanna. She's looking a little bit down today. I am Laura at Laura Talk Softer, and I've been showing that my mama's been painting those yellow bricks. See them all out there? Now, where those are at, that's pressing down the dirt, those blocks, but that will become my yellow brick road. It'll be a short yellow brick road. And right there, I got a 50-pound bag of just all-purpose sand to kind of even out stuff. I got that yesterday. I actually carried that from my car that's way over here. The guy who put it in my car, he made it like, he picked up 50 pounds like it was nothing, but I got it over there. Anyway, I am on my morning walk. I do this walk every morning, and sometimes I film it and sometimes I don't, but just share my thoughts. So I was looking at my YouTube channel and and saw somebody wrote such a delightful comment about me not knowing what I hope I'm pronouncing it right, a Chinook helicopter is. I had saw, my husband and I were for a walk yesterday, and I saw a double propeller helicopter. I don't know helicopters. I usually will look up in the sky and I see helicopters flying in circles with lights. I call those, well, there's the ghetto bird. And then I see the red helicopters, and those I think are like lift, ambulance helicopters, whatever. They take people, because I've seen them land in the street. And then they take people to hospitals that have the helicopter pads that can land, the trauma centers. And then I've seen the CHP helicopters, the news helicopters. Well, this was a military type style looking helicopter, and I guess the double propeller, and it's called a Chinook, some type of Chinook. Anyway, somebody felt that I was too old not to know what that helicopter was. So I asked my husband this morning, I said, hey, do you know what kind of helicopter that was? And he said, a Chinook. And I said, oh, there's a cat. Anyway, so I said to him, well, somebody who saw the video thinks I'm too old and that he would bet, or she would bet all their money that I must be, I'm assuming, a Democrat because, I'm dumb for not knowing that. And I'm thinking, that's an interesting correlation, because who is in office always up at random hours tweeting odd things and coming up with odd comments? It just made me kind of wonder the correlation and bothering me with that interesting comment. But anyway, I did suggest to them to watch my other videos, because I did make a video before about my voting history and how I vote for the losers. But anyway, throughout my long time of voting. Anyway, so I'm walking around in circles. That's what I do. There's no helicopters in the air right now. And I'll be back. On a positive note, a very delightful subscriber commented on my mama, kind of where I'm imitating that I'm questioning her authority to be painting the bricks on that video. They had said they had work for her, that they've painted the top of the table and she can paint under the table. Like, she can work under the table, get it? I thought that was quite funny and quite an intelligent response. And so, yeah, I like those witty kind of responses. They're cute. But, yes. So, you get all kinds when you put stuff on YouTube, that's for sure. Here, oh my goodness. See, sometimes I wish I could show you what I'm seeing driving down the street, but then I feel like it's just not being nice. So anyway, I'll give you a description. There's cars that drive down the streets. Okay, I'm in California, right? So California doesn't have, like, I know on the East Coast and certain areas of the country, they have like vehicle inspections where they inspect your whole vehicle. We don't have that. We have to get the smog checked. That's about it. You're supposed to drive vehicles that are in good working order, and you can get pulled over and get fix-it tickets, but that just doesn't seem to happen too much around here. So this car was driving down the street and had a lot of like bungee cords and duct tape kind of holding it together. It's some kind of unbelievable stuff and very creative assembling of keeping a car together. But the car looked like it wasn't sitting on its, is it chassis or whatever they call it? Oh gosh, if I don't know what that's called, I'm too old to not know. Anyway, the frame of the car. It just looked like it was driving a little bit sideways. It did have 4 tires. I didn't get a close enough look to see if they had any tread, but some of the cars that look like that don't. It looks like it's getting some blue sky now. Hello, my beautiful, elegant Vanna. So one of my neighbors, I've watched him grow up, and he's grown up to be such a hardworking young man. By the weekday, he works for a plumbing company, and he's a plumber. And then the weekend, he has a gardening service. So right now he's loading up his gardening stuff into his truck. And it was like, wow, this young man works 7 days a week. He is so hardworking. My finger is there. Look at that. How does that happen? Where's that coming from? Where's my camera at? I don't know why my fingers show up. Okay. Anyway, I am Laura at Laura Talks Softer. And I have just some random videos where I may ask you, what kind of helicopter is that? Or what kind of plant is that? Or what kind of fish is that? Or what kind of bird is that? And if you know, answer. Anyway, I just saw a cat run by. That cat was running. It was one of those like tuxedo cats. Okay. I need to go back to what my husband said when I said I didn't know what it was. He said, well, Laura, you didn't know what that helicopter is because you watch Netflix and not the news. That's what he said. Toodles. Have a good day. Be kind.